All right, let's take a look at reading and writing fill in the blanks, practice number 14. Scroll down to the options. Now, for me, I always start by looking at what I'm working with. So I'm going to look at the options. From what I can see here, this looks like vocabulary. But when I have a preposition, I always check to see if it is a dependent preposition because sometimes some words can only go with that preposition. However, with the by, the chances of a dependent preposition is not likely, small chance. The reason is because by usually tells you who or what did the action. So it can work with a lot of verbs. So contradicted by, educated by, distracted by, complemented by. You see, they can all work. So we need to read a little bit to see. Well, from here we said we were. We were. So let's see what can work with this passive voice. We were right away. We were contradicted. No, maybe, but we were contradicted means somebody misspoke about what we said. Maybe we can do that, but it's not a common way to express that. We were educated. Absolutely. We can say we were educated. We were distracted. Absolutely. We were complimented. Yes, we can use all of those. So not enough information. So we might have to read a little bit more and let's see. They're talking about ozone depletion. Ozone depletion. Okay, so first of all, this is what I was learning about when I was in school. These days, I don't think they teach about this anymore. I think they teach about climate change and global warming, things like that. So this tells you a little bit about my age group. Okay, so that's not enough information still. Maybe we can check here. We threw all our efforts into ozone depletion, I believe, and succeeded, but we had little time to spend on climate change. There you go. So for me, what I think is because they spent all of their efforts here, they had no time to spend it on this. That's distraction, right? When you're distracted by something, it means you are focused on one thing and you couldn't focus on another. I feel like it's distracted. This one was strictly reading. So you have to read to understand this question. Next one, another preposition. So let's see what we're working with. It's all verbs. All verbs. So we're not dealing with any type of dependent preposition. We're dealing with tenses. All of these verbs are used as tenses. Yep. So we know what to do. We should know what to do. 3 steps. Step 1. We might not make it to 3 steps, but step 1. Do we have any time reference inside this sentence? Right away, I see the word 20th century. 20th century here is used as an adjective. We are describing the type of science. We are not talking about the time of 20th century. This is not a time reference. It's an adjective describing the type of science. No time reference. Step 2. Do we have any other verbs in here? For me, when I see, because that's a linking word. A linking word is used to link 2 sentences together. So there's got to be another verb. And here it is right here. Was, another passive voice, right? Was also neglected. So that's using the simple past. The best thing we can do is go with the flow. Keep it the same. So in this situation here, we have failed, active voice, was failed, passive voice. We have to decide here. Are we using active or passive? So if we read it, active voice means 20th century science. I was going to say 20th century Fox. You know, the studio that makes movies? No, this is not 20th century Fox. This is 20th century science failed to recognize. Okay, what this means in an active voice is that the science failed us, okay? If we switch it to passive voice, it will mean somebody failed science. Maybe they're talking about me when I was in school. But in this situation here, they're not talking about people failing science. They're telling us that science failed us. They failed to recognize this. So I will use active voice here. Okay. Next, what are we working with? So we have no prepositions here. It's all vocabulary. So we got to do some reading. However, when I'm looking at these four options, determined, responsive, dying, and in this, I see the word self-regulating. And we're talking about Earth. They're saying Earth is self-regulating. Yes, it is. No one needs to control it. No one is turning it. Whatever Earth does, it does it by itself. So because of this word right here, I feel like this is the word that matches, responsive. Because you respond, you react, and you change, you regulate by yourself. All the other ones don't connect with self-regulating. So this one right here is strictly vocabulary. If you didn't know the meaning of the word, that will make it harder. So write this down if you didn't know what it meant, and we'll build our vocabulary that way. The next one, no prepositions. So let's see. No dependent prepositions. We have complicated, integral, aerial, balancing. Woo, we do have a clue here. Now, you might not always have this, but this is an important clue. When we have the and, it tells you that the word that we're dealing with has to start with a vowel. A, E, I, O, U. It cannot start with anything else. That's why we use and. So complicated is gone. Balancing is gone. And now we're left with two options. And again, is vocabulary. This word right here might sound familiar to you guys if you don't know this word. Aerial, arrow. This word is dealing with the sky, flying. Okay? So are we dealing with that? Earth, the earth. I can't say earth properly. Earth. The reason is because, let me talk to you about pronunciation. This TH sound is weird to make sticking your tongue out of your mouth. Earth, right? So normally, a lot of native English speakers, when they speak, they don't make the TH sound with earth. They make an F sound, earth. So I'm trying to make it proper and say earth. I can't say it. Earth for you guys. But normally I don't make the TH sound. I say the F sound, earth. Earth, like an F. Okay, so for me, it's say Earth's system. I make the F sound. All right, so they're saying the whole Earth system with living organisms. They're not talking about flying anywhere. So I will say integral. And an integral part, it actually means an important part, something super necessary, something that you need. All right, I will go with that one. And then now lastly here, it's the end of the sentence. So once again, more vocabulary. This one is difficult. It's mostly just vocabulary. So habitable, revolving, unlivable, evolving. All right, so what are we dealing with? Keep itself. What is itself? The sun? No. We're still talking about the earth. Earth. F sound. We're still talking about the earth. So to keep itself, so we don't keep the revolving, right? It means to spin. I don't think they're talking about the earth spinning, okay? The earth unlivable. Earth is livable, so why would it keep itself unlivable? No. Earth is livable. Evolving, no, it's not earth. It's the animals and humans, if you believe in that. I would say habitable. That's what earth is to us. We live here. I would say habitable. Again, it's strictly vocabulary. This one is quite difficult if your vocabulary is not at the level that it needs to be. But there's one grammar rule that hopefully we all know, and this was dealing with tenses. I hope that helps.